Right? Fillmore.
Yeah.
Very, very simple premise for this one. It is a police procedural that stars a middle school safety patrol. It is a legit-ass hard-boiled cop drama, but everyone's worlds and problems are super small. The show plays it entirely straight, ignoring how ridiculous everything is. It's wonderful.
It's I remember, I was like, again, like, I knew nothing about this show. All I remember is seeing Fillmore and Third on you know, those commercial bumpers where they'll put every cartoon on the channel in one big commercial bump, and I'm like, who are those two? Whatever. What's on this other channel? And then, like, I'm like, I get past the opening, where the opening is sort of, like, really, really, like, you know, quick and, like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's, like, explosions and stuff, so I'm like, okay, this looks like what I thought it was.
That aren't actually from the show.
Yeah, like half of, like, a few of them are, actually. And then I was like, okay, so this is, like, again, some kind of, like, show where the kids are spies for no reason and should have no real power and whatever. It's, like, younger, less interesting Kim Possible. But then the show starts up, and, like, it starts up in the exact same way that I've seen a million times in every detective and police procedural. Every episode of, like, Monk and Psych I've ever seen, and, like, frickin' other shows that I don't watch, and other shit. And Elementary, and I'm like, wait, this is a cop show. This is a cop show. And I, like, ran over to you guys and, like, why didn't you tell me? This is the greatest concept for a children's cartoon ever. Oh my god. Like, I looked ahead because I wanted to make sure that this wasn't, like, a fluke and it wasn't, like, a genre joke for the episode. And then I look forward and I'm like, I, like, watch some random snippets of, like, the first, like, 4 episodes, and I'm like, no, this is the whole show. This is the whole show. No. Oh my god, this is the best.
And the announcer guy is Don LaFontaine.
Yeah,
it's literally the movie guy.
It's the In a World guy.
Yeah, it's him. It's not a sound-alike.
It's actually him.
Yeah.
Oh, the late great Don LaFontaine. And like just freaking just the well, I don't know. Where do we even want to start?
Well,
characters.
The show is created by Scott M. Gimple, who you may know as the guy who works. Did he create The Walking?
No. He started in season 2 on The Walking Dead, of all things, as like a writer producer, which he also wrote and directed some episodes of Fillmore after he created Fillmore. And then since season 4, he's just been the showrunner, like executive producer. And I went to his Twitter, and like 99% of the traffic is Walking Dead stuff, because that's what he's pushing, because that's making the big bucks for him and putting various probably like high-end multi-grain bread on the table. and like, but like the 1% of his Twitter feed is people going like, is Fillmore gonna come on DVD?
What about Fillmore?
And like he just does not answer.
Shh.
Because he's way past
I can't
that.
let these big grown-ups with their big boy pants know that I worked on a baby show. Shh.
Also, it's like regardless of like I'm sure he created the show. I'm sure like it's always. I like to think that that's still his baby in some way, but that's basically the equivalent of like coming up to like I don't know, like late era Michael Jackson being like, so Jackson 5 reunion, what do you think? Like,
and him being like, who the fuck are they?
But yeah, the show is modeled specifically after like 1970s police dramas, particularly the one The Streets of San Francisco. I've never seen, but I'm sure I've osmosed in my life.
Well, yeah, because like I was saying, the genre that honestly, cop shows, police procedural, detective, whatever's, they're probably the most like by the books in terms of plot structure. Like it's even House MD had really the same structure. It's a tried and true thing that won't go away, and there's always 4 shows with the exact same story beat pace running on TV at any given year of life.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It was the final series that the Walt Disney TV animation studio produced on their own, before sort of like handing it off to other people. So it was like, part of, like, all these different networks. It was the final ABC Saturday morning cartoon, but then it ran, the second season, I believe, ran exclusively on Disney Channel, but then there was reruns on Toon Disney and even Disney XD. But it's kind of the last of its era as far as, like, that kind of Disney stuff, because after this show, Disney focused mainly on, like, live action, sitcom, traditional Disney Channel stuff. Kidcoms. And also, like, outsourced to other, like, studios, not, like, in the East and whatnot. So, it's kind of a piece of history, interestingly enough.
Hell of a swan song.
Yeah. And it was canceled due to low ratings, mainly because it appealed to a much older audience than intended.
God, no wonder it's my favorite thing. It's just like Freakazoid.
Yes. I've also heard people say that.
Although I don't think that's entirely fair, because, like, this show knows exactly what it's doing. Freakazoid was like, everyone was like, does this work? Turns out it did, but it was always, like, weirdly different. And differently weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Freakazoid, they did just sort of, like, threw everything at the wall and saw what stuck. But this show had a lot more focus.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it came out in 2002 and only ran for 2 years until it was canceled early 2004. So it was a very short little blip that it's very possible you might not have been able to catch when you were a youngin' tuning in.
Like me.
So in this show, the show takes place in a school called X Middle School. I don't know why they went with that name.
It fucked me up for, like, the entire first season, because whenever they would say the X something, my brain thought they meant, like, the former.
Yeah.
X.
Like, for 2 seconds, I was so confused.
It's like, when did you retire? Why do you
School
still have the
Safety
badge?
Patrol, and I was like, why do you have authority if you're an ex-safety patroller?
Yeah, so this school, they at one point say it's one of the biggest middle schools in the country. This school...
It's a city, basically.
Yeah, actually, you know what I said when I first started rewatching it, is this show is in some ways the spiritual successor to Recess, because it adds so much, like, structure and community and like narrative to school that just didn't exist. And whereas in Recess there was more of a fantastical element, here it's, like, kind of knowingly ridiculous that, like... I mean, the Safety Patrol is literally a police force. They have an office where they, like, do police shit.
Yeah, like, they interrogate people.
They have an interrogation room
like...
in one of those one-way mirrors, and they, like, never go to class.
And they have all this shit in their school. They have a fully functioning theater. They have an apple orchard. They have
a botanical garden.
The botanical garden, greenhouse.
They have more clubs than the school from Tatami Galaxy.
They literally do.
They have fashion club and...
They hold, like, conventions at the school.
Yeah, they have a convention center at the school. They held, like, really important, like, electronics expos and, like...
They have a library with 2 floors. Listen, middle schools don't have any fucking money.
No. They don't.
No one wants to give middle schoolers money.
Middle schools can't even afford lockers anymore.
No, they can't.
No.
If they have them, they don't let you use them.
Yeah, that was what it was.
You get too much agency if you use this locker.
No, it caused traffic in the halls because their school is so overpopulated. If you clog up the halls by going to your locker, it'll be like a clogged artery, and then, well, the school will have a heart attack.
We'll all die. No one will mourn.
It's your fault because you couldn't carry 5 textbooks at once from one end of the campus to the other, you selfish asshole!
Nina's middle school was...
Hey, that was a really good impression of the principal from this show.
I love the principal from this show.
The principal...
She is literally the Kate Beaton 80s businesswoman.
I love her so much.
She completely is, and she's voiced by Wendy Malick, who listeners to this show will know as the voice of Beatrice Horseman, Bojack's terrible mother.
Oh, yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, Principal Folsom.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that this was inspired by a show called Streets of San Francisco.
Yes.
Everyone in this show is named after a street in San Francisco, which I think is pretty dope. And also explains, which I didn't know this as a kid, it explains why a person's last name is Third. Because that's not real.
It's awesome.
Yeah, well, everyone else has like a convincing sounding, last name, like, Fillmore, O'Farrell, Vallejo, Folsom.
Freaking Vallejo.
I love
We're going to get to Vallejo.
We're going to get to all of them.
So that's just like a really cool naming scheme, and it's a big enough city where they didn't run out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Though they did kind of run out of character designs.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, have we seen this kid? No? Oh, it's different? Okay. All right.
I thought they kept it in. They kept it interesting enough, mostly because it's like a lot of the kids all came. Like a lot of the cases revolved around specific clubs, so you could like dress the characters around that club.
Yeah. But their faces and hair looked very similar, so I got kind of like, all right, I guess this is a different person.
Speaking of character design, Fillmore just looks like the toughest human being. Like I don't want to. Like Fillmore's like 12. I don't want to fight him.
No.
He's like the nicest, like kindest boy, but he looks pissed all the time.
Those beady eyeglasses.
Yeah, he's got anime glasses.
Like when he turns,
there's no
when he. Yeah. Well, he's got like the Morpheus glasses from the Matrix.
Yeah.
I think the main character designs are really solid though.
Oh yeah, totally. The main characters are wonderful. It was just like, they had to keep coming up with new people every episode, and it's like, ugh. Kids,
like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get into the characters, because it's a really, really good cast.
Mm-hmm.
I said it stars a safety patrol police station, but focuses mostly on one set of partners, Fillmore and Third. Our protagonist is Cornelius Fillmore, voiced by Orlando Brown, an ex-delinquent who was brought over to the other side by his former partner, Wayne something, who then moved to Tennessee, which is this show's equivalent of, I guess, dying.
Honestly, that's a good thing about this show, is like they always had to come up with a substitute for being dead.
Yeah.
And it's always
great.
Well,
he came back in another episode. So he just moved to another precinct.
Yeah. Well, another state. There was an episode where Fillmore visited him in Tennessee and like ousted his corrupt safety patrol, which of course was Southern.
They had cowboy hats.
And they called themselves sheriffs, which is a thing in the South. It was like, no, we're not cops, we're sheriffs. We're all cowboys.
And horribly corrupt.
We all have. We all need to do this to exercise our fucking power fantasies. I don't respect cops. I like this show. I like stuff like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I like the idea that maybe somewhere cops are doing what they're supposed to do, but they're not.
Not really, for the most part, no. And they just, anyway, let's not do that.
No, this is a fun show. It's fun time. Yeah. Good cops. They're all good cops. There's no bad cops.
I already made one mistake bringing up white America in Recess, so anyway.
Yeah. So he's, because he has the experience with the criminal element and former connections, he's able to be really good as a detective crossing guard, I guess. And
they're hall monitors. They're supposed to be.
Yeah, they're supposed to be people who like, you need to have a hall pass, and then they stand in the street and stop cars that are driven by adults, even though they're children. They don't, like, solve crimes.
Yeah, his crimes in his past life include milk counterfeiting and backtalkery.
I think there's, like, comic book boosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's milk counterfeiting? What was the replacement milk?
Did he get it from his dog or something?
Just like that, when you get, like, really hard water and it looks kind of milky?
Ooh.
Ugh.
Oh, God. Maybe he just watered it down? I don't know.
What
was he doing?
It was watered down half and half.
The crimes in this show are hilarious, like tartar sauce smuggling and fucking
Yeah, they're all like analogs to
baseball
real ass
card
crimes.
counterfeiting, which might actually be a real crime because those things are worth a lot of money.
Yeah. Gambling rings where everybody's just like gambling for candy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like fucking dairy
or
coupons.
box tops or whatever.
So he's like the best. He's the best. He's the best they got.
Yeah,
and
and he's not like
cannon.
he's not like a loose cannon, but he causes a lot of collateral.
Yeah, he's...
Yeah.
Okay, this show has at least 3 chase scenes per episode.
Yeah,
and they're like,
it's so
great. And they like keep making them interesting by having them go through some new facility that no middle school in the country has. And like, oh, this time we'll chase each other on pogo sticks. This time on stilts. This time on like paddle boats. Whatever.
This time this time we're gonna ride RC boats like they're freaking surfboards.
And what kind of random, obscure, funny visual joke can we make? Oh, hooray for Banner Club! Let's tear through the banner. Oh, look, the epic history, the epic poems club. Like, my story has more characters than yours. Let's bump into them and just leave them forever and never tell us the story of those.
Yeah, it's like we see so much of this impossibly big middle school, but we also see enough to know that it's so much bigger than we could ever know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like we're like a lot of education reform is pushing for smaller classrooms. This is maybe want to go the polar opposite direction. Let's just build a mega school and send all.
They have like
kids
a shipping facility.
They have a dock. They have a dock. They have a dock. They're a school. They have a dock. And so crimes can happen at the dock at this school that has a dock.
And the amount of money that Fillmore fucking wastes destroying all this shit, it's like ultimately it's
like
okay.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars like weekly.
He stays overnight at the school to like guard a math test and has like the equivalent of a shootout all night there.
I think, you know what I think the problem is in the United States is that X middle school is the only school with any fucking money.
Yeah, they're getting all of it.
Some federal bill, like there was a misprint on it, and now all the money goes to X, and everybody else gets like $45 a year.
No, the safety patrol has an infinite access to cocoa.
So this is what happened. It was a misprint, and like it was just like X middle school because the form had like an X on the form, and then the principal caught wind and founded a school called X middle school, so all the money would be automatically rerouted to her.
Yeah, she would do that.
The biggest crime that Fillmore never busted.
Oh, this needs a 3rd season.
Oh man.
Fillmore's partner is Ingrid Third, played by Tara Strong, soft voice Tara Strong, somewhere in between Persea and Raven.
Yeah.
It's honestly her most like. This is one of her best performances.
Really,
It took me a minute to tell it. It took me a minute to tell it was her, and it's just so. It's really subtle and quiet, but still emotional, and it's like her least. I guess it's like in a way it's her least cartoony voice, but I don't like using that word in that context because cartoony voices are great.
You know what? It's almost like it's her least Tara Strong voice because like
it's pretty understated.
I mean, what she's most famous for and most desirable for are like those cutesy voices, like your Bubbles, your what was the lamb from Tinkles from Rick and Morty? Like if you get her to just do like a guest bit part, it's usually something like that.
Or like her 10-year-old boy voice, like Timmy Turner
and
Terrence from Foster's.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
And I mean, there have been exceptions, like, as I mentioned, Persea from Tales of Symphonia and Raven from Teen Titans, but it's not normally what you get her for.
Yeah. And this voice it's like Raven, but not as gravelly. Raven's a bit more gravelly sounding than Ingrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ingrid's a lot smoother. Like, she's very... It's like... It's so weird because it's a soft kind of understated voice, but it's not a timid voice either.
No.
It packs a punch without packing a punch. Like, it's pretty fascinating. It's a great voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ingrid is a new student at X as of the beginning of this show. The first person who Fillmore is willing to partner up with after his former partner and mentor left. She's like a super genius. She's got cartoon photographic memory. She's like fucking Cam Jansen over here. and like one of the most academically skilled students at the school. Which is weird because she doesn't attend class.
Well, you better be good at school if you could fucking memorize everything.
Can you look up this page in the phone book for me? I memorized it.
I memorized the entirety of the phone
So
book.
she knows. Okay, so she knows everyone's number, just all of them.
She knows
Great.
everything. Why is she at school? No wonder she spends more time at the safety patrol. Like, life must be really boring.
Not on this fucking safety patrol.
I guess not.
There's kid murders every day.
But yeah, she used to kind of be a delinquent herself because she had, like, behavioral issues or whatever. She's kind of got a goth thing going on. But she's just, she's a great match for Fillmore because she's calmer than him in a lot of ways. Like,
Yeah.
he's more the action, like, let's do the thing. Not that he doesn't take the time to think, he's just a little bit more intense.
Impulsive.
He can sometimes be rash. He can sometimes let his emotions get the better of him.
Yeah. 'Cause Ingrid's kind of, like, not that at all.
He's very compassionate. He wants to help everybody. He's always on a soapbox. He literally always has some kind of like he's like spouting out like end of the episode moral of the days and like at like the 3-minute mark. Like you got to calm down.
I just have a lot of advice to give, baby.
I've lived a hard life. You're 12.
I love how like cuz they're talking about like the being on the force and like all the stuff they've done, like all the past history, like that was a long time ago, like that was probably several months ago.
He's a 7th grader and that happened when he was in 6th grade. Like, it's not.
But when you're 12, that's like forever.
Yeah, this juxtaposition is the central joke of the show, and it never gets old because they just play everything so straight.
There's no more comedy than like the comedic, goofy, specific characters that you'll find in a normal freaking cop show that's a drama. But the joke is always, let's all laugh at these children playing pretend cops and robbers way too real.
Like, even the adults, like...
Yeah, it's just as real to them. The
Yeah,
principal
like-
is essentially the mayor who's always riding the commissioner's ass.
Yeah,
yeah, no, she's my favorite.
she's always like, if you don't solve this case by the end of the week, I'm gonna convert your office into a sauna or meditation center or...
Self-serve yogurt place. I guess that would have been in the show lasted like another 6 years.
Yeah, probably.
Let's talk about Vallejo.
Yay!
So yeah, he's the irascible police chief character, but he's 13. Voiced by Horatio Sands. And he's just like a beat for beat. That guy. That character. You know, screaming Fillmore's name at the end of every episode.
Fillmore! I think my favorite bit was like at the end of the episode, they're all at I think it's Third's house or something. Like they're playing poker.
Yeah.
And they're playing, and it's like, it's just as funny as like the dog painting of them playing poker. It's just a bunch of kids like playing poker.
Kids kind of dressed like cops.
What about when Fillmore and Ingrid were all dressed up like they were going to a speakeasy? Like,
Yeah.
she was dressed as a flapper. Like, what the fuck?
They probably got him from the
Whenever they go
drama
undercover,
department.
it's great.
I mean, their drama department probably like puts on like shows. They go to Broadway, they go to Chicago, and then they go to X. There's so much fucking money at that school. So yeah, they can get costumes, no problem.
Yeah.
Vallejo's incredible. Like, the first episode is like, I don't want anything distracting me from this weekend. I'm going fishing with my dad. Oh, actually, my favorite example of, like, the juxtaposition, like, just a whole small world thing was in the first episode with the graffiti. It's like, you know, maybe we should show this graffiti to an expert. Maybe an art teacher. That's all they got!
No, but then like they're like Like, the forensics girl is, again, like, exactly like the forensics character in every show, and then she's like, she shouldn't know all of these things about, like, compounds and chemicals and samples.
Yeah, Karen Tahama, voiced by Lauren Tom.
Like, how do they have a lab where they
yes,
can, like...
they said they had a lab.
No,
they said they had a lab. Yeah. They have
a lab. They have
a dark room.
If there was any kind of projectile equivalent allowed in this show, they'd probably have a shooting range.
Oh my god. And it's not like a science lab. It's like a special, like, we're gonna figure out where this hair came from somehow.
Yeah, she identified a piece of hair as definitely human hair. How did she do that?
I don't know.
Other recurring members of the Force are the comic relief Danny O'Farrell. I don't remember who plays him. It sounds quite a bit like the guy who plays Jeff Randall in Clarence. I'm like, is that Jeff? Obviously not.
No, it's Kyle Sullivan is the person's name. He is like the butt monkey. He's the one kid who actually acts like a kid. So he really doesn't fit with the rest of the world.
He's how you would expect a kid. And, like, if you let a kid be a cop and hang out with a bunch of cops, that's O'Farrell.
Like, how do you know we actually have butts if you can't see them? Can you see your own butt?
He's just asking everybody to take
a
picture of his
Please, someone take
butt.
a picture of my butt!
He's not qualified to operate a stapler.
And then later they find his butt selfies.
And then, what was James Anza, played by Danny
Joseph
Anza, played by Danny Tamborelli from All That. And,
oh shit.
Yeah, one of the guys who did Vital Information. He was also on Figure It Out a lot and always got slimed. I haven't thought about that man in at least 15 years.
Yeah, that mofo, that's an old one. That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
I want to ask what he's doing, but I know it's not.
He's hanging out with Kel Mitchell.
He appeared on a podcast on February of this year.
Yep.
He looks exactly like I figured he would now.
You know who else appeared on a podcast this year? Me. And I'm just some dipshit from Florida.
Yeah, apparently, he's been doing a lot of podcasting. Appearing as guests on podcasts.
The podcast he appeared on is called Getting Dug with High.
Stupid. Dumb.
He also...
Yeah, Doug Benson. He's a weed person.
Well, Anza doesn't do weed.
Oh, he was in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Alright.
Well,
That's a thing.
all these kids are cops, so they didn't do weed. Except for when they grew up, and then they all ended up doing weed. The actors, that is. Anza, he kind of has the least characterization of anybody. I guess he's like just the cool, other competent officer there.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yeah, probably solving a decent amount of cases, but not getting the same notoriety as Fillmore in Third.
Yeah. Because they're like...
Maybe there would have been an episode about that if it got a third season.
Fuckers.
Maybe not. Like, he barely
We'll never know, so we'll assume it was perfect.
He barely had any dialogue.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Miss Folsom, the amazing, wonderful principal.
And her sycophantic vice principal, Bartlett, I think?
Raycliffe.
What? Was I...
Same thing.
I love this scene where has the massage chair.
Yeah. It keeps going to different settings.
Oh my god, yeah, but she's like perpetually angry. She's always yelling at Fillmore in Third and always giving Vallejo a hard time, saying she's going to fire everybody and get rid of the safety patrol and blah, blah, blah. And she's got these epic 80s shoulder pads and...
I was thinking of Craig Bartlett, creator of Hey Arnold.
Oh.
I don't know what happened.
Hold on.
I mean, I guess if you mix Hey Arnold and Recess with a cop show, it's Fillmore?
Kind
of.
Anyway.
Especially when the jazz
Fillmore's kind of like if you smushed Arnold and Gerald together.
Yeah.
And took away the hair.
And shaved his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got Arnold's righteousness and Gerald's coolness.
Baby. So many catchphrases. The show is just loaded with
Disco.
catchphrases.
Disco.
Dog.
Baby, dog, disco. Did I do that?
Stupid.
What was third?
Crackers.
Third had one. Oh, That's cute. Like, it was like, in context, it's like, oh, that's a whatever catchphrase. But when I actually think about like an intelligent young little girl saying crackers as an expletive, that's adorable.
Well, like, it'd be funny if it's like, crackers.
But it's always very serious. Crackers.
These kids are always serious. And like, I love how, like, in that one episode where like Fillmore has to postpone like a dinner date with his parents. Like, his parents are basically the stand-in for the loving, supporting wife.
Yeah. It's like, I need to, work there's a wedge being driven between work and family, but like, it's his parents.
Like, and it's like, they're for parents, they're really overly supportive. It's like, oh no, the safety patrol needs me. It's like 8 p.m. You can't go back to school.
He's never not working for the safety patrol.
Like, the safety patrol needs me. You're right, son. The safety patrol is very important.
There's a crime.
Sorry I gotta bail on you guys. That's fine. We'll, like, have sex. We have a kid. It's hard to do. We're very good looking. We're very good looking older people. It'll be great. I'm sorry we didn't see more of them. They were cool.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. Or Third's older sister. She was so cool.
Yeah.
Also voiced by Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, each episode is self-contained. It's divided into 3 acts, each with a catchy, hard-hitting, punny title.
Good lord.
And, you have the mystery established in the first act, and then by the third, it's solved, and we figure out who the criminal is.
After a bunch of misdirects and red herrings, because it's a police procedural.
Yeah, there's always red herrings, but, it's always somebody that appeared in the show at some point is the one who done it.
It's never like, it was never a werewolf the whole time.
It's never like some person that they never knew about. It's always somebody who was there from the beginning.
It's always a solvable mystery.
Yeah. Which, that would have been cool if they ever did, like, a episode where, like, they couldn't figure it out. And then everybody mailed in is like, who do you think shot Mr. Burns? And, they run the gambit of your typical cop shows sort of premises of, like, okay, we got a serial murderer, it's not a murderer, it's a shredder, and not the turtle shredder, it's somebody who just literally has a portable shredder and is just shredding people's shit.
I wish that was the Ninja Turtle shredder.
Like kidnapping.
Of a Tamagotchi.
Of a Tamagotchi, of a beloved mascot, of, theft, framing, counterfeiting, extortion, sabotage.
That one girl
identity.
who, like, pretended to be a totally different student and, like, tried to upload a virus to the school to publicly release all the data.
Legitimate cyber terrorism.
Yeah.
What?
Chemical terrorism in the form of stink bombs, hostages, and, like, substance abuse, vandalism, motor vehicle theft, so, like, all the basic stuff, but translated into kid terms.
A crooked diplomat who's got immunity, so they gotta go off the book to take him down.
Yeah, the diplomatic immunity one, that was the best one.
He was just from Canada.
I thought that, when I was watching that one, I thought the twist was gonna be, like, he's not really from Canada, he just says that so people think he's cool. Because having a diplomat in middle school makes no sense!
It doesn't make sense. His father's the diplomat. He's not the diplomat.
He's just some fucking kid.
Just Folsom didn't want an incident. Like, anything you could possibly imagine that would happen in a cop show happens in this show, and it pretty much happens beat for beat, but in kid terms.
Yeah.
Again.
Like in the first episode, again, there's, the serial graffiti guy, and they get help from a imprisoned graffiti guy. They're doing the fucking Hannibal Lecter thing, so he's like
Randall the Vandal.
He's in solitary confinement, but, like, he goes home at the end of the day. They make it seem like it's inescapable prison. He leaves daily.
He just isn't allowed to hang out with anybody, I guess. And vandalism is like this incredibly serious crime that would get you sent to solitary confinement for the rest of your school days is pretty crazy.
Especially for a public school.
What kind of crimes we got? Stealing all the... Well, some crimes are pretty intense, like stealing all of the library books.
Oh,
all
yeah.
Of the library books.
Because everyone kept checking them out.
The books belong to me! Kidnapping, stealing of standardized tests. Again, stealing of mascot. Their mascot is Lobsty the Lobster.
So I guess they're in New England.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, when they went on that field trip and the painting was
That was one of my
defaced.
favorite ones. That was the one that I remembered when I was a kid. Because it was the most different, because it was the only time where it was a crime outside of school and the criminal wasn't a student.
So really, Fillmore didn't do anything because he has no authority.
Yeah. I don't know, that one was pretty fun, because it was really out of their element and had a fun twist.
I like how it was the artist all along, because like, it was supposed to have the mustache.
And the museum was awesome. What was it, like the Modern Contemporary Natural History, Art, Science, and Miniature Museum. Which sounds like the best museum.
Yeah, you can look at some paintings and then you
things.
can... Yeah, you can look at some paintings and then crawl around in a giant butt.
Oh man, and then like the other one where he was outside of the school, like he was investigating... I forget what the crime was. It was by that kid who was like just pretending to be bad at school because he wanted to stay best friends with his bully friends.
Yeah, he ran away from school, and so he got permission to leave school grounds to
But like but then he ran to that shitty truant officer who just like didn't believe him, and like he's the main reason that I wanted a third season, because he would have shown up more.
Yeah, probably.
There was the episode...
He's basically Paul Blart, the truant officer.
There was... have I told you guys how livid I was that they didn't call the sequel Paul Blart 2 Total Eclipse of the Blart?
That's probably copyright issues.
It would have gotten...
I mean, the song doesn't own the concept of an eclipse.
There was that they did an episode where like one cop has to go undercover and they get too close to the people they're with and they almost switch sides.
Yeah,
They
that
are
one.
Girl Scouts.
Fillmore, I had a partner who did that once, and now she's the crime boss, leader boss.
I just don't want that to happen.
But like, here's the thing:
that would have made it even funnier if the show's dialogue was like that.
Oh my god!
But no, here's the thing about that episode: you'd think that the crime boss would see it coming because she did the same shit.
No. She didn't. I love Vallejo back when he was a beat cop.
Yeah.
Because he had the stereotypical, like, back when I was younger, I had really curly 70s hair. Because I was all young and impressionable and shit.
Like 2 years ago.
I love it. Ah, jeez. There's so many. I mean, it's 2 seasons, 13 episodes each. Pretty well rounded out. God, I don't...
It's one of those shows that's like so good, but like, it really works on its own merits. It's like, we've explained what it is. It's like, it's such a simple premise that they could have made a million seasons of like any given Law and Order show. They've established their setting as something that's very malleable and very, they can do anything in it.
But do you think it would get boring after a while, like an actual cop show?
I think...
Well, no, because actual cop shows apparently don't, because they get a million seasons.
Well, a lot of...
Because it transcends boredom into comfort and complacency. People who watch cop shows love to know what they're getting into.
Yeah,
They want the familiar.
I was just about to say, it's like something, like somebody has a hard day at work and they just want to see a simple mystery solved. I think that, I don't know if it could have, like, gotten 6 seasons, but it definitely could have gotten, like, another 2, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think it was cut down early. I don't think it would have, like, had a crazy long run, like, say, Adventure Time, but
No.
Well, no. That wasn't the like that. This is a different era where that just didn't happen.
Like, I don't even think it would have run as long as, say, Kim Possible, or maybe like just as long as Kim Possible at the very longest. Like, we could have seen more of Kim Possible. Kim Possible could have had 5 more seasons. This, however many Kim had, is how many it should have had. I'll say
4.
That would have been rock solid for this show.
Yeah.
Like four a movie and a movie length special they cut up and rebroadcasting.
Yeah. That sounds good.
You know, the standard hat trick.
But it would have been cool if they sort of upped the ante. Like, I would like to see what it would look like if they did up the ante. You know? Because the crimes are so, like...
Well, like, someone actually gets killed?
I mean, no, but, like, the crimes are so, like, not crimes. Like, if you were gonna make a whole movie, like, what would the crime be? Like, what would be big
Fillmore,
enough?
the movie.
Principal...
James Woods is back.
These might as well take place in the same universe.
I'm thinking on the fly. He wants to... Ex-middle school's grades are going down because of all the rampant crime, so they escape from New York and shut off and wall off the entire school, and it becomes like an anarchic city-state. And Fillmore is Snake Plissken. And the principal is Duke of New York, #1.
I've never seen that movie, but I have seen the Simpsons movie, and that was the same thing.
Dude, Escape from New York is rad.
I love everything of John Carpenter I've seen. I bet I'd love it.
But yeah, that's my pitch for the Fillmore movie that will never
it's
happen.
just amazing because it's the same joke over and over again. But it still works somehow.
Because, dude, cop shows still work somehow. Cop shows are to television audiences what Archie is to comics.
Yes. These titles. Cry, the beloved mascot. Next stop, Armageddon. Nappers never sleep. A cold day at X. Masterstroke of malevolence. 2 wheels, full
Good
throttle,
Lord.
no brakes. A slain kings on checkered fields.
Oh yeah,
favorite-
that was
one
one
of,
with
like-
fucking Checkmatey, the whitest boy.
Oh my god, checkmate.
Yo, I forgot about Checkmatey! Checkmatey's my favorite.
Checkmatey, the whitest boy.
Oh my god.
I love how, like, Fillmore was like, you're a shitty rapper!
Yeah, because it's like on any other show, on any other kid show from the early aughties that can't write rap music, they play it way too straight. But, like, this show must have been like, well, no one here can write raps. Let's make a character who's bad at them on purpose so he won't have to even try. It was the best.
But he has like the school doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you could become like a school icon by being really good at chess.
I think that was a goof.
I guess.
That, like, anybody would give a shit. And like, there's, like, multiple clubs. There's, like, the Checkmatey fan club and the club for the preservation of the sanctity of chess.
I'm amazed that at no point there wasn't like a Life of Brian joke parroting the Judean People's Front and the People's Front of Judea. But one thing I noticed straight from the jump was that going back to the really catchy opening, which was in my head since I started watching it, like most Western cartoon openings are 30 seconds, and at the 30-second mark you can absolutely cut it, but then it goes on for another 30.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, like, they probably did that on purpose in case they needed to make a longer episode, but then they never did.
Yeah, so they could do the Simpsons
never
thing,
had to
but
shorten
never
it.
did. Yeah, like, there's that scene in the dead center of the theme song where they do, like, the slow walk and the music slows down, and you think it's over.
Yeah.
But then the comic relief character starts dancing like a jackass and it picks back up, and you're like, oh, alright, we're doing this still.
Yeah, the opening theme is called Das Ubertuber, or The Mystery of Mr. P, by Ukla the Mock.
Ugh. At least the song's good.
No,
Because that sucked.
But, like, Ookla the Muck, though, that's like a...
That's a comic.
That's a reference... Fuck, I forget. It was like some old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, I think.
Yeah, something.
Like, I think, like, let me see here. Freaking, okay, Ookla the Muck. Oh yeah, it's from Thundar the Barbarian,
Yeah.
which is like what the spoof cartoon that the Turtles are watching this season is based on.
Yeah.
Krognar.
Oh, yeah.
The Poopsmith was Ukla the Mock for what was it, Halloween potion majig. The Poopsmith costumes were either like, I definitely know it, or I would never know that. Like, one year he was M. Bison, and then he was Necron 99.
Oh, alright. We can always bring it back to Homestar no matter what we're talking about.
Somehow.
I mean, like, I think the thing about this show is it's such a blatant, unsubtle bit that, like, there's very little to dissect. It's just there.
That's true. I mean, it's a cop show. Like,
yeah, it's very simple, and it's very easily summarized. I think, it's the same thing we ran into with Dan Versus, where it's like a show that we absolutely adore and then didn't find that much to talk about at the time. But, like, because it's simple.
It is what it is. And it is good.
It's very good. It's very funny. It's fun. The action is fun. The characters are fun. The whole setup is fun, and there's references to all the shit. Like, the fucking Tooch, when he first started watching it, he, like, flipped his shit because the cheerleading coach made a reference to Geodude.
Oh, yeah! I forgot all about that.
I vividly remembered that, and even at the time, I'm like, man, this teacher's trying way too hard.
Well, no, it's like, okay, it'd be one thing if she was like, like, I don't know, like get charged with electricity, like the Pikachu. Because everyone knows Pikachu, you have to, like, play the game or watch the anime for an adultman in 2001 or 2 to retain Geodude's name and understand the concept of the attack Harden. That teacher has played Pokemon.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and there's, like, a lot of teeny tiny references to stuff here and there that kind of, like, slip through. And, like,
here's one thing that the show did that was fucking crazy and extremely, like, prescient. That, like, some kind of future sight motherfucker wrote this episode. The one with Vampirita and Citizen Fang, where
yes,
it's like the goof in that episode was like, oh, can you believe that they would make books about vampires and werewolves and they would be the most popular thing? Guess what? 10 years later, that happened.
And, like,
and you said it to me at SPX, like, a character in that episode used the word fandom and was like, this isn't my first fandom. That's such a made-up Tumblr thing, and it was 10 years before Tumblr.
Like, jeez, like, I legitimately did not know.
Yeah.
And like, because the concept of being in, like being around long enough to hop, skip, and jump across fandoms, like, that was a thing.
Yep.
And, like, oh my god, I'm amazed that they didn't drop fanfiction, because fanfiction's as old as the original Star Trek, probably older.
We were talking about this. We were also talking about this at SPX. It dates back. The oldest example I can think of off the dome is the Divine Comedy.
Oh yeah, shit. I guess that kind of counts. Yeah.
And that's self-insert fanfiction.
If you want to get biblical about it, yeah. But then, like, so is like Paradise. Like, when was Paradise Lost written before or after the Divine Comedy?
I don't know.
But Paradise Lost is
also,
absolutely a fanfiction.
Paradise Lost invented most of the modern conceptions of the devil.
But, Nina, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I read that it might be a reference more to this series called Anita Blake Vampire Hunter. And looking at the cover, it looks exactly like the kind of stuff that those kids were reading. A necromancer, animator, vampire, executioner living in the unmasked world. She was a chaste hero who moved among the various vampires, werewolves, fairies, and other were animals. In her world, solving crimes and kicking ass. Though she repeatedly said, I don't date vampires, I kill them, she ends up getting in a love triangle with a vampire and a werewolf.
I'm looking at these images. I'm surprised this wasn't an Image comic.
I'm surprised this is real.
Oh, I'm not.
Well,
this
they did
is
make
some... Oh yeah, this is bad.
They did make comics. I'm trying to see if they were by Image.
They were by Marvel.
Oh no. Although if she showed up in the next Marvel vs. Capcom, I'd be all over it.
There's so many books.
Yeah, just like in this...
There's
just like the Vampirita.
20.
Wasn't it like the new book was like the 17th book coming out or something?
Yeah, or something like that.
The last book was in 2013.
Oh my god. Yeah, and like the author's just like, who cares?
I wrote this on the way to
Yeah, that was great.
This sucks. Have you read it? Who cares?
Like, don't say that to, like, a 12-year-old
Yeah,
lady.
she's bad at her job if she did that.
Yeah. I love the one girl who just kept changing wigs throughout the day.
Yeah. Because at first I was like, is she dyeing her hair? Like, that's impossible. No.
God, I mean, there's so many little gems. Like,
Laurel
it's so...
K. Hamilton, who wrote Anita Blake, also has a series called Mary Gentry. A fairy princess turned private investigator in a world where fairies exist and are known to the general public. The first book is called A Kiss of Shadows.
Oh,
This is beautiful.
I think I got it.
I know, right?
Go to Century and Third or whatever the hell it's called.
Second and Charles. What in God's name?
I got...
Okay. I will, though. I'm for real gonna do that.
One of the book titles is called Obsidian Butterfly.
New side podcast where we just book club all this woman's work.
Oh my god. Oh.
But you were going to say something regarding to the actual goddamn cartoon we're talking about?
Oh, it's just like there's just so much. Like there's a lot of little fun gems like that. Like, yeah.
Or, like, I just remember like the bit where like Vallejo's playing video games with his old partner, the guy who was a profiler, and he's and like he loses at the game. He's like, "See, you're a coward because you just stay here where nobody can see you fuck up." Because he lost at Star Fox. It's a great show. Can't recommend it highly enough. Unlock this one too.
Yeah, it would be really wonderful if this was released in a legal format.
Free Fillmore.
Definitely. Down with the 3-strike rule.
I never go back on my word, and later she's like, whatever. You guys aren't going to remember.
I do.